This is the video to show you how to get started on homework number 1. And the first thing you want to do is download the homework assignment and save that to disk. So on my 2013 summer folder, go to SET-151 and I go into homework 1 and I want to save that there. And then I want to read it. And start off by typing in this code template. I really recommend that you type it in at least once so you're familiar with that. Then you have the muscle memory. It's really important. Now I've already typed it a bajillion times, so I'm going to just copy and paste that in. I've got Visual Studio 2012 running. I'm going to go ahead and make a new project. It's a Win32 console application. We'll call it Homework 1. I've already gone through the steps to do this in the how-to and the getting started, the how-to new project video and document, and in the Getting Started in C class. I recommend turning off security development lifecycle features. Go ahead and click Finish and wait. Then go ahead and add a project to, or add an item to your project, and you want a C file, and we will call this homework1.c. Remember, no .pp, that's for C++. Go ahead and copy and paste in the code template that we got. Let's go ahead and build and run that to make sure it works. Ooh, and it's a good thing we did that. Notice we got an error. Now, why did we get an error? Because Microsoft Word put in smart quotes instead of regular quotes. So that's one of the ways I can tell if you typed it in or not. If you typed it in, you would have typed in regular quotes. It's really hard to make smart quotes by typing. If you copied and pasted, you probably ran into that error and got stuck for a little while. So go ahead and run that just to make sure it works. And it instantly goes away. How do we prevent that? Well, if you watch the videos, you know about the system pause command. Now, there's better ways to do this, but for starting purposes, or for our purposes, that is sufficient. So let's go ahead and run that again. Boy, that's slow. I gotta do something about upgrading my machine. Alright, there it is. And it worked correctly. So let's go back to the homework. Now it says modify the program in step number 1 so it will print the minimum and maximum values for the following data types. Okay. Be sure to verify the minimum and maximum values by adding or subtracting one and then printing. Make your code readable, make the output readable, use the printf statement to output your answers, and the printf format specifiers must match the data types. You cannot use the built-in limits if you know what those are. I've had a few of you guys out there with some prior experience or some pretty good internet search abilities, and you found there's some basically some built-in constants that let you do that. You can't do that. You must declare a variable and set a variable to hold each value. You cannot simply hard code the values. For example, this is wrong. However, this is better. So I've given you an example to start. So we're going to go ahead and copy that. Now you guys should type it in, but since I've typed it so many times, I don't have to. Let me get rid of some of these windows, make it a little easier to read. Now all this needs to be indented 1 tab space. Why? Readability. Now notice what happened when I copied and pasted. All my quotes are smart quotes, and I gotta fix all those. Now I could change the homework, but I know some students won't watch this video. They'll skip it, and then they'll try to do the fast path and just copy and paste that code, and don't want them doing that. Gotta do the work. You gotta earn it. So we put all those in. Now that's a little tedious. What I could do, I'm just going to undo all that. I'm going to show you a little trick here. Copy, Control C, and then Control H is going to be search and replace. Now, in case you forget that, if you go to Edit and you look for a quick replace, you'll see the hotkeys are always listed to the right of the command. So Control H, and it automatically puts in what I've got selected, and I want to replace that with regular quotes. And In the Visual Studio 2012, they changed the look and feel a lot, and they've got abbreviations or new icons for everything. And so you kind of have to mouse over and get the tooltips to see what it's talking about, but we want replace all. And replace 12 occurrences. And it got my all my starting quotes, but it didn't get all my closing quotes. So again, I Control C, copy that, Control H. Well, actually I got to close out of this and then Control H so that it gets the closing double quote, then replace all with that. It got 6 of those. And all my red squigglies have gone away. But I still have 2 other squigglies. Now what's wrong with that? Well, those aren't minus signs, those are special dashes. Now watch, I'm going to replace it. I'm going to highlight it and watch how small it gets. See the width change? Here, let me redo. See, there it is, and there it is. Yep. And we had the same problem here. So I've got some printf statements, and this is for the short data type. Remember, I got to do 4 of these. Now, first I have to declare my variables, and then I have to set them to what I think are the minimum and maximum values. So I'm going to start off with 100, negative 100, and positive 100. Then I'm going to print out that I'm going to do the display the minimum and maximum. So I use my printf statement, and I have my formatted string with 1 placeholder for a short. And then I put my variable there, and then I have 1 placeholder. I have another printf statement with another formatted string and 1 placeholder, and I do that for a minimum. Now, oftentimes I will see programmers do this. Are you ready? And so they stuff both of these 2 lines into one. And as you can see, there's a /n in there, so that when it prints, it will be on the new line. This is what I call fancy code. You're basically trying to do 2 things at once. Also, the code does not look like how it will be displayed. If you start those habits and you start writing fancy code, you know what kind of bugs you're going to have in your program? Yep, that's right, fancy bugs. Bugs are always harder to find than writing the code itself. There can be some really strange interactions. In fact, I may give you guys the $5 coding challenge. That's where if you can tell me what 8 lines of Visual Basic code does in 5 minutes or less, hence the 5-minute challenge, I'll give you $5 out of my own pocket. In the 11 plus years that I've been teaching, only 1 student has ever won that, and he was a mutant, and he was overclocked, to be sure. It was my pleasure to give him the money, but he was definitely the exception. I think he'd been coding since he was like 7 years old. Another guy came close at the he won $2 from me. At the time, he had been programming almost as long as I'd been alive. So anyways, fancy code equals fancy bugs. Don't want those, so don't do that sort of thing. I also get programmers that love to do things like min and max. Oh yeah, got to make these variables min and max. Now, can't do that. Why? Well, because those are what? Abbreviations, and we do not allow abbreviations, do we? So I'm going to temporarily take out this confirmation part. Maybe. There it goes. I'm going to go ahead and run that. And so I'm stating that the minimum and maximum for short is positive 100 and negative 100. Well, how do you know that's really the minimum and maximum? Well, you need to subtract 1 from the minimum and add 1 to the maximum, don't you, right? And if you are truly at the minimum and maximum, you're going to get different answer, or you're going to get different results, right? So as you can see here, I subtract 1 from the minimum, add 1 to the maximum, and then I print a confirmation. And I should not get negative 101 and positive 101. If I do, then I've got the wrong minimum and maximum. So let me go ahead and run that. Uh-oh, I got negative 101 and positive 101. That tells me that those are not the minimum and maximums. Okay, well, let's try maybe 10,000 or 1,000. Nope, that isn't it. As you can see, it added negative. It took one off and added one. So that isn't it. Let's go to 10,000. Try that. Now, yeah, you could Google for this, but a little bit of experimentation isn't going to hurt you. Get your hands on. You get to understand how it works and behaves. Okay, so that's definitely not the maximum. Let's go to, I don't know, 50,000. Ooh, hey, those are some strange numbers. Wow, 15. Well, I think we've gone past the minimum maximum. Wouldn't you agree? Something very strange happened. That's not at all what we expect. Now, if this was Visual Basic, you know what would happen? It would probably pop up with a warning and say, "Oh, kind sir or ma'am, I believe you have made a mistake. You've accidentally gone past the the maximum value of this variable, and we don't want that to happen." C is like, okay, you want to do that? That's fine. Go ahead. All right. Remember, C is all about control. It assumes that you are the expert, and then if you meant to do that, then that's what you meant to do, and it's not going to stop you. So we know that the result is somewhere between, or the minimum maximum for short is somewhere between 10,000 and 50,000. So let's split that in half. Let's go, let's 25,000. That'll make it easy. And we run. Come on. Nope, that isn't it. All right. How about 35,000? Oh, I goofed. I meant type. Oh, negative 35,000. And wow, that did not. Whoa, something's in there. Something didn't work right. So let's take a look. What happened? We tried negative 35,000 and positive 35,000 and it didn't work. So let's run that again just to verify our results. Yep, those are definitely wrong. We got 30,536. Okay. So last time we tried what? We were at 25,000 and 35,000. So it's got to be somewhere between those. So let's do 30,000. Try to find the limits there. Those worked correctly. So we got 30,000 and 30,001. So we now know that the limit is somewhere between 30,000 and 35,000. So let's split the difference. 32,500, 32,500. That worked correctly. All right, let's go to 33,500. Nope. That did not work correctly. All right, so then we know, let's try just plain 30,000, or I'm sorry, 33,000. Nope. Boy, this is really challenging, isn't it? Would be a whole. I'm gonna show you how to Google or search for the other values, but the purpose of this homework is to understand the mechanics of how variables work. So I really want that hands-on, tactile, figuring it out on your own using the tools you've got. When I went to college, the internet pretty much didn't exist. I mean, it was just started. It was all text-based, and there wasn't a whole lot on there. The skills of to figure out on your own are much more important than your search skills. And don't get me wrong, search skills and how to find stuff on the internet are good, but the logical deductive reasoning skills that you'll develop to solve problems in this course are far more valuable. All right, you get paid to solve problems, not search the internet. All right, if everything was searchable, if all answers were easily found on the internet, then there wouldn't be any reason for programmers at all, or a lot of other professions too, for that matter. So we know that the difference is somewhere between the last value that we got to work, 32,000 worked. 33,000, and I'll put commas in there so it's a little easier to read, did not work. So what we're going to do is we're going to split the difference. We're going to go 32,500. Or did we already try that one? Oh, well, it doesn't matter. We'll try it again. So we'll go ahead and run that. That worked correctly. So you just took off one and added one. So now, now we know that it's between 35,000 and 33,000. So we're going to split the difference with that. 32,750. That worked correctly. It subtracted one and added one. Okay, so 32,750 work. Well, let's split the difference. Let's go 8. Oh, let's do 850. That'll just be nice and easy. We won't have to worry about any. I'm gonna let that run. Ooh, 32,685. That is not plus or minus 1. That's not it. So we know it's somewhere between 32,750, 32,850. Well, let's try 800. Again, I know you guys are thinking, shouldn't we just Google for this? Yes, but the logical, deductive reasoning skills are more important than searching. You guys all know how to search, right? Do I need to teach you how to do that? Well, maybe there's some tricks I can show you, but in general, no, you already know how to do that. Okay, that is not plus or minus 1, so we know it's between 32,750 and 32,800. Let's try 32,775. 32,775. Nope, that isn't it. So we have to keep splitting the difference. That's how we're narrowing on it. So let's try 62. That would be splitting. Oh, we'll do 63. That'll be splitting the difference and rounding up. Okay, it's minus 1 and plus 1. So we know it's between the minimum and maximum are between 763 and 775. So let's split the difference in that. Let's go 70. Actually, it should be 69. Let's do 69. I think, yeah, that's splitting the difference. And we should get 770 if those are the min and maximums. No. Okay. So we know we're getting closer. We're narrowing it in. So it's between 63 and 69. Let's try 66. We'll split the difference again. $767, so it correctly subtracted 1 and added 1. Okay, so we know it's between 766 and 769. Alright, so let's go to 8 and 8. Alright, we started with 768. Oh, that's interesting. It rolled. Oh, wow. What's going on here? We got a negative and a positive. That is not adding 1 to it. Let's go back to, so we know it's between 768, so let's put, it's got to be 767, right? Run it one last time, maybe, we hope. Okay, this is very interesting. When we set the minimum to negative 32,767 and subtracted 1, we got 32,768, which is 1 less. So that's not the minimum. However, for the maximum, when we had 32,766 and we added 1, we got 32,767. When we added 1 to 32,767, it went negative. Oh, very interesting. There's a huge mystery there. Now, it's at this point that I'm going to stop because the value of this assignment is figuring out what's going on and why and what those limits are. I'm going to post a review video next week that will pick up where we left off and will show you the secrets. But until then, you're going to have to figure it out on your own or suffer. Why? Because this is boot camp. And if you're not feeling pain, you're not growing. And that's the end of this video.